Hello, everybody. I want to talk about the world today in relation to labor supply, the market, and jobs. In particular, I'm trying to answer the question, does the right job exist anymore? Any questions on labor supply or the right job center around the world in which we live today. We've been raised to find that a profession and a job is one that we're born to do, and we should look until we find that job that'll make us who we are and what we hope to become. But today that may not exist anymore, or at least over the long term. The average person works at a job for 6 years. Nearly 50% of businesses fail within 5 years, and about 30% of businesses are around after 10. That means that the dream job, the one that lasts a lifetime, may not exist. So while the right job may not exist anymore, there are certain sureties that should grab somebody's attention, that should guide you as you look for a job in today's world. The first is that competition knows no boundary, which means in previous times when you used to compete against the store next door or the store across town, now you're competing against the store or the employer who lives in another country, in a different world in essence, whether that's in Europe or Africa or Asia. Competition knows no boundaries, and that means that jobs are not only more scarce, but they're also more temporary. The job you have today may be taken by somebody who lives in India tomorrow. Second is that loyalty between the employee and the employer does not exist anymore. What we hear often is that loyalty doesn't exist for the employer. It's the same for the employee as well. The best and the brightest, which I call the superstars, will leave for any job that offers them more, something better. Consequently, loyalty doesn't exist on both sides of the equation, not just from the employer to their employees. Third is that only the latest and the best knowledge and skills is valuable today. It may be great that you have a degree. It may be great that you have a master's degree. It may be great that you're continuing on in your education, or that you're moving to get additional experiences that make you even better. All that is to be applauded. However, it's that latest and best knowledge that simply is the most important. And so that may mean that you need to invest even more in your career to make sure that what you have to offer no one else does, or at least not to the degree that you do. Fourth, fifth, and sixth are what I often say about what you need in success today. The job doesn't exist anymore, but it exists, the good job, the right job, for those that work hard, that are likable, and that overcome your obstacles. That job at that company may not exist for many people, but if you're the hardest worker, if you're the most likable, and you overcome any challenges in your path, you may just be one of the last to be let go. And that's not a bad thing, because it gives you more time to look for the next job. Which leads us to the next aspect, which means, and is interpreted as, lifelong career planning. I tell people all the time, whenever I do consulting or presentations, that you're going to be looking for a job for the rest of your life. That doesn't mean you're going to go from job to job, but it means that you're not going to know how long you're going to keep your job or where the next job is. And so, just like we have lifelong education, you will be spending your life looking for a job until you retire. And even then, too many people can't afford retirement, which means they have to look for a job even after they retire from their primary income. And that leads us to the very last aspect, which means, and is interpreted as, you have to make it on your own. From creating your own retirement plan to providing for your own health care, you now have to make it on your own. You have to find that job even if you work for somebody else. You have to work to keep that job, and you have to save as much as you can and invest as much as you can, whereas before that was often done for you. It's a different world today. We need to recognize the different world and profit from it. And so the right job may not exist anymore, but you can create a good career. You can constantly look for an even better one. Because now we know that competition knows no boundaries, that loyalties between employees and employers doesn't exist, that only the latest and greatest knowledge and skills are valuable today, that we have to continue to work hard, be likable, and overcome our obstacles, and last but not least, we have to make sure that you make it on your own. We know that because, like lifelong education, we're now on a path of lifelong career planning. I wish you the best. Take care, everybody.